This is news uncuffed. An 80-year-old was raped in Detroit on the west side. Now I'm going to show you what the solutions can be to narrow the search down. For the first time in history, we can catch this suspect who did this to this 80-year-old. And everyone on the west side of Detroit and as a whole of Detroit, watch this and listen to what I'm going to tell you, and we can find, locate, narrow down the search and get to the exact person who did this to this 80-year-old. And let's help the investigators there do this for the first time in history, and it can be done. But first, it's important for you to understand what happened.
Sunday night around 9 at the elderly couple's home off Memorial Street near 96 in the Southfield, the man entered through an open back door demanding money and food, then a struggle.
The victim told him, "No, we don't have any money," and started to push him out the door. He pulled her with him and to the outside where he sexually assaulted her.
After it was over, she called 911. The 80-year-old was injured from the sexual assault, but is expected to be okay physically. The captain says it's too early to tell if there is DNA evidence to help them find the suspect. Police are looking for a black male in his 20s, about 5'8", with a slim build.
Now, based on what has already been told, I don't even have to know everything, but I do know this, is that this 20-year-old, somewhere around 20 years of age, 5'8", slim build, he's in that area. And it happened around 9 p.m. at night. So possibly he may be a street walker. He's known to walk around that area. And possibly he's been watching that home. So he knew that these two were elderly and incapable of defending themselves. And I wouldn't even doubt if it lives in exactly on that street or a block away. Now, how can we narrow the search down over there? Now, you listen very good, Detroit, and let's do this. You're going to know, or you know someone around that time frame that you have constant communications with, a youngster. He may have a cell phone, more than likely. If you have not had any contact till after between 9 and 9:30, or haven't seen a friend of yours or a family member of yours till after around about 9:15 to 9:30 or so, I want you to narrow that thought down to who it may be that you did not have communications with until that time frame. And then after that, just to be sure, this is what you're going to ask your friend or your male friend. "Hey man, did you hear about the rape that happened to that 80-year-old? Man, I was doing this, I was doing that. Where were you at?" Will you happen to take some questions to make sure that we narrow this down to help find this sexual predator who raped that 80-year-old? If you ask these specific questions and think real hard, or your close friends nearby, once you do that and they agree to it, and if they don't agree to it, you got a red flag and you got a possible. And I want you to text me Detroit at 409-444-3524 if they agree to be asked some certain questions so that we can help narrow the search and help these investigators find the one who did this to this 80-year-old who could have been my mother. And I'm going to tell you, if we work together, we ourselves can immediately narrow the search and find this predator who raped that 80-year-old. It's not going to be hard. So he knew also that that back door was unlocked. Now for the elderly woman and the elderly man, and all of you in that community, certainly our elderlies, they're our most vulnerable. And things need to change how we take care, look out for the elderly in our communities. And this can only be changed with CPIIA. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the new approach, the best solution than ever before to help solve, help prevent, help protect, help ensure that our elderly, our women, and our children and neighborhoods are safe. If you don't grasp this, we're going to experience and see like never before our most vulnerable be raped, be robbed, and be killed when it can be avoided. And ladies and gentlemen, as your world's top cop, proactively, who has arrested thousands upon thousands single-handedly by myself, I'm going to tell you, police are called once a crime has been committed. But I made it my duty to locate criminals and grab them off the streets in the act before they actually harmed and brought danger to communities, which made me the best at it. And I'm here to change the narrative with CPIIA, and we together can change the narrative and the crime rate to an all-time low. And we're going to start by doing something never been done before in history, and we're going to find you, whoever you are, if you're listening, you're going to be caught. And we're going to work together with the citizens of Detroit, and let's get it done and do it. And it begins now. And you want more information, make sure you reach out to me and text Detroit, and let's get this done and find this suspect now and put him in handcuffs.